No, 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 no. Hello, Albsterz here. Today we're going to be checking out an analog horror called Vita Carnis. Living Meat Research Documentary is the video that we're going to be watching. This is by Darian Quilloy. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. I'm not the best in pronunciation. They created this whole world around Vita Carnis and stuff like that. It's going to be interesting to jump in to see what this is like. This is my first ever analog horror. So let's see what it's gonna be. This video talks about and shows imagery of graphic content like gore, violence, death. Viewer discretion is advised. Classified material, federal law. I nearly got a cramp in my leg. A penalty of what?
On planet Earth, life has thrived for millions of years.
And hopefully for many
Creatures
more.
big and small have found ways to adapt and evolve to flourish in all types of environments.
They have.
From barren wastes to lush forests, life can be found. Earth has homed these creatures since the dawn
the
of
fossils
life
as
itself.
well.
Only until very recently, things have changed. New life forms have appeared all around the globe and completely changing the balance of nature and what we know about evolution itself.
Oh, have they?
That is why we, at National Living Meat Research, have been studying these new species, trying to help educate everyone about these creatures and their wondrous ways of life.
That's just a really weird National Living Meat Research. That sounds sus in itself. I can't be the only one. Surely you watching this as well? That's kind of a sus name as well, isn't it?
First, what are these new life forms?
Oh, let's have a little look then.
Since their explosive arrival across the globe in 1931,
Ooh,
there has been
1930.
much debate on what these newcomers are and where they came from. Are they extraterrestrials coming to invade Earth? Or are they
Maybe.
demons who come from hell to purge humanity? From what our scientists have discovered, no. The origins of these creatures are solely to Earth.
No! I wanted something like E.T. Oh man, having that glowy finger coming to attack me would have been lovely.
Miraculously out of nowhere. We don't know why or how, but one thing is for certain, Earth is now their home. What these creatures are is mysterious and still not well known today.
We're gonna have to take it back, aren't we?
Know. These creatures are comprised mainly of muscle tissue, organs, and bones. They greatly resemble animals with no skin, or store-bought meat. Because of these characteristics, they have been named accordingly as Vita Carnis.
Vita Carnis, so
species consume decaying, organic matter, but their main diet is composed of raw meat, not including their Carnis relatives. The Carnis only appear in places where there is an abundance of crawl, which leads to the first creature of the Carnis species, the crawl. The crawl is a growth of meaty tendrils that closely resemble the small intestine, the only difference being the dark red coloration. These tendrils grow in a similar pattern as vines, mold, or fungi. A primary stem structure is the host to divisions of other, smaller branches. And each tendril contains a variety of veins.
Okay, that's kind of weird. That reminds me of like the cordyceps in The Last of Us and the way that the tendrils kind of latch onto stuff to try and, I'm guessing, to eat their victims and stuff like that. And they kind of remind me of like cannibals as well, in the fact that they've got a meat diet and stuff like that. But let's have a little look more into this.
Arteries and other similar organs used to transport nutrients absorbed from its surroundings.
Oh wow, so it's got to be an evolution on humans then.
The tendrils are equipped with organelles used to absorb water and organic matter necessary for growth. The source of these organic materials is mainly found in dirt and soil on surrounding surfaces. Using its root-like tendrils, it absorbs the material and processes it into usable energy. Although, the crawl also obtains energy through another means.
What?
Using a sophisticated form of photosynthesis.
No, you don't just... we're not going to mention it, don't worry. This is a PG BBC documentary. We won't say whatever kind of thing. Oh, there you go. They do photosynthesis. It's like, oh yes, I'm a tendril, I'm a plant. Oh, photosynthesis.
The dark pigmentation of the smaller branches is ideal for absorbing sunlight, and therefore allowing solar energy to fuel the crawl's growth. Because
it's going to be quite high up as well.
It thrives in almost all types of environments, easily allowing it to spread across the world, and can be found pretty much anywhere. Its
So how
recent
do you
inclusion
eliminate
in the ecosystem has caused many major changes in nature's balance. One may assume that the crawl's presence may outcompete any other competitors, but due to its unique life cycle, where old branches fall off and decay into nutrient-rich compost, all forms of life seemingly flourish instead.
Yeah, but what happens when they eat the compost? What happens when like a deer comes along and it's like, oh, this looks lovely. Nom 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 nom. Does it then adapt and change that deer and then create more creatures?
Crawl's abundance grants plenty of nourishment to all animals, from plants feeding on the decayed crawl, herbivores thriving on increased plant population, and carnivores feeding on both the abundant prey, and are able to eat the crawl as well. The presence of all these animals leave behind waste, which will be broken down and consumed by the crawl, and the cycle begins again.
Ah, okay, there you go.
This form
It's
of
the
symbiosis
circle
leads to an
of
environment
life.
where all populations thrive. Humanity also
nuts.
uses the crawl to our advantage.
Oh, of course we do.
Because of the supernatural rate of growth and its richness in nutrients, it has been sustainably cultivated into domestic farms.
Oh, of course it has. Of course it has. Oh, we don't know much about it. Yes, us humans, don't worry. We will use it to our advantage. We will sell it at a premium price. That is our way. Of course.
The crawl is harvested and processed into fertilizer, which greatly increases crop yield and quality.
So farmers is going to be at a high
The crawl
price
may
as well.
also be used as a food source for humans, and reliably so. But due to its unkindly appearance and taste, it has yet to reach cuisine standards.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
The
That's
crawl
like me
also
going
plays
outside
a
and
very
eating a
important role in the
branch.
next creatures that we have been studying. Sometimes, in a crawl-populated environment, a node of meat may develop on one of the branches. This node will fall off and grow into a functioning organism, and go to live on as an independent animal. This leads us to the upcoming species that we will be discussing.
Okay.
The first of these creatures are the Trimmings. The Trimmings. Trimmings are small animals that resemble skinned raccoons. They are commonly known to have a plump body, round head.
Plump. I just love that one. Plump. Frumptuous. Jiggulous. Oh, look at that muscle content. Muscle and fat is 77%. So surely these things are in the compost, and they must eat humans from the inside, surely.
Head, small eyes, nose and ear holes, and an agape mouth. They are also equipped with a diversity of limbs.
I can
All
see that.
individual trimmings are unique, each with a different body shape, number of limbs,
Oh, really?
and other characteristics.
What?
One thing they all share in common is that they are made mostly of meat tissue, and are a maximum of 20 centimeters in length, no larger than a basketball.
That's
Its
pretty
life
big.
starts with its separation from the crawl. It will wonder to find anything that is edible and able to consume.
Oh no.
Although it is an omnivore, being able to hunt meat and forage for plant matter, trimmings are almost entirely scavengers. Their diet consists of rotting plants and meat, including, but not limited to,
Oh, so they're like pigeons. The fact that they'll eat anything. So fruit, vegetables, roots, seeds, insects, dead animals.
vegetables, roots, seeds, insects, and deceased animals. Although its appearance is unsightly, it is a cowardly creature, only fleeing, screeching, and hiding when threatened.
Yeah, I would not like to hear that.
Because of its lack of defensive traits, it lies near the bottom of the food chain, making it easily overpowered and picked off very regularly by predators.
But no repercussions. That's
Naturally,
I
its
find it weird.
population would eventually die out. This is not the case. The crawl constantly produces a large quantity of trimming nodes.
Oh, of
keeping
course
up
they
their
do.
numbers. Naturally, trimmings can be found wherever there is abundant crawl. Trimmings
So what-
grow at a decent pace, reaching maturity at around 7 months.
Wow. So what are the humans doing then whenever they're using the crawl and stuff like that in the greenhouses and stuff like that? They must be using the trimmings to their advantage. Maybe in like a containment area or something like that. It's gonna be cool to see what they do.
2 to 4 years.
Okay, that's not long.
Although they are plentiful, humanity has no proper way to implement trimmings into society. Their overabundance has even considered them pests, due to them digging through trash bins and making excessive noise at night.
They do look like skinless raccoons.
Besides all of this, some people still keep trimmings as pets and relatively domesticate them.
No, you're having a laugh. Would you want this as a pet? Would you want that? Oh, Timothy, come here, Timothy. Oh, Timothy, it's time for dinner. What have I got you? A dead deer. I would not have that in my dog bed. There is no way that is going near my puppy. No, sorry.
Nuisance or not, trimmings are a wondrous creature. From their plentiful numbers to their skittish nature, they are truly a thing to behold.
No, I don't think they are.
The next species on our list is the meat snake.
Oh, okay.
The meat snake. The meat snake is a worm-like creature made of a variety of types of meat, coated in a transparent, skin-like membrane. Its size varies during its lifespan, depending on how much it consumes. When it first separates from the crawl, it is only a few centimeters in length.
Oh, so that's all. They all originate from the crawl. Then this is kind of cool. I know it showed the like
meters, although under
16
extreme
feet,
conditions, like natural disasters, war, or plague, it can greatly surpass this length. The meat snake's diet consists entirely of dead animals or parts. A meat snake is incapable of consuming a healthy, living organism. The meat snake allocates its food by using a tongue-like organ covered in sensors to touch and feel its environment. The sensors catch particles of decaying meat, notifying the meat snake that there is food nearby. This process shares many similarities to regular snakes.
I think regular snakes are just so cool though. Have you ever seen the way that they like consume food and dislocate their jaw and they just wrap around their like prey and it's just that crocodiles and also the the Komodo dragon. Yeah, don't mess with them. All right, they have been on this planet for so long. You see them, you run.
Hence the meat snake's name. Once it locates the corpse, the meat snake will open its jaw and swallow the entire body whole. Once the entire body is consumed, the meat snake's stomach will release a variety of chemicals.
Around their tongue, I do believe.
Like skin and
no, as the snake has evolved, if you don't know, there is a little tube that's underneath their tongue. Correct me if I am wrong. And it's a little air hole, so they're able to consume the food without like kind of choking or something because they're able to still breathe while they're consuming the animal. It's really, really cool.
Connection points between muscles. Others chemicals will then ferment and preserve the tissue to keep it from breaking down for as long as possible. After that, the remaining flesh and bones will move along the meat snake's tract and slowly be implemented into its own structure, extending the meat snake. Unsatisfactory parts like skulls, pelvises, hair, and fingernails will be excreted. Speaking of skulls, the meat snake will take the skull from the consumed organism and use it as its own.
We're just gonna pass over the fact that you just said fingernails and hair and skulls, so they do consume humans, but no, this is the BBC documentary. We just pass over that. We don't worry about it.
Each meat snake has its own skull, each corresponding to what that one has consumed. During its lifespan, it will swap or replace these skulls if needed. A meat snake's lifespan depends entirely on how much a meat snake consumes. The longest one has lived for was 28 years. The meat snake has no predators and is immune to disease, due to its preserving chemicals. The only significant ways a meat snake can die is through starvation, burning, or complete destruction of the meat snake's membrane coating.
And how often does that happen?
The meat snake is the only member of the Carnis family that is able to reproduce. When a meat snake reaches an excessive size, and is in the conditions to do so, it will commence mitosis, splitting itself in two. Then the now two meat snakes will go on their separate ways and live on as two distinct organisms.
That's a bit odd, isn't it? Oh, separating from each other and then just going, so long, friend. Thank you so much for sharing your body with me. And he just like slivers off. Yep, ta-ta, farewell. We will meet once again. Oh, this gives me the chills.
Meat snakes can only be found in moderate temperature climates, not too hot, not too cold. Their
They're in the
population
UK.
depends entirely on the amount of corpses available. Where there is death, there are meat snakes. Humanity will use them to our advantage. Meat snakes are a very efficient and clean way of disposing of any meat products.
Of course they
The
are.
fluid within the meat snake's body disinfects the carrion, preventing the spread of disease.
So there's got to be
Humans
more
use meat snakes
of
in
these
butcher
snakes that are
shops as a
bigger.
waste bin, dispose roadkill, within war on the battlefield to dispose of festering bodies and parts, and within zoos to dispose of deceased animals.
Zoos. What about little Dory that goes to take a photo and ends up finding a meat snake in the back? And it's gonna be like Harambe all over again. I don't like these. Out of the ones that we've seen so far, I do not like these.
They are extremely tame, not caring if any creature is around them, only acting defensively when it is within consuming a meal. This means they are very easy to tame.
I wouldn't.
Overall, meat snakes are a marvelous creature with a very interesting way of sustaining itself. It is an amazing experience to encounter one, as
No,
long
it
as you
isn't.
don't mind the smell. Our next creature is the mimic.
Oh no.
mimic.
Oh.
The mimic is a bipedal creature with uncanny similarities to humanoid anatomy. They greatly resemble humans without skin, with added exaggerated features. These features include extended finger length, longer limbs, bulging, empty eyes, and their most prominent feature, a wide, teeth-filled smile.
I thought you was gonna say his feet, but yep, that smile can take him a long way.
Although it resembles a happy face, this is due to coincidence, and is only how their facial structure is shaped.
Yeah, I don't think that guy's
The
posing for a
mimic
smile.
contains much more teeth than humans, and their teeth is comprised almost entirely of incisors, with some canine and premolars in the back.
Huh?
This tooth composition is ideal for biting down onto meat and swallowing chunks whole. A mature mimic's diet is comprised entirely of human flesh.
Oh, what benefit that is. Oh, and you take the long pause as well. Oh, no.
Because of this, they are found solely around human-populated areas.
Why?
The mimics-
Why have you got to come to the UK? Go
The
away.
cycle is made of 3 stages.
Okay.
In the
What is
first
the three-
stage, a young mimic separates from the crawl. They closely resemble their trimming relatives, but are thin, sleek, and only have 4 appendages. In this stage, the young mimic will hunt small animals, moving on to larger and larger as they grow. Once large enough, it will begin metamorphosis into the next stage of life. Once fully transformed, it will resemble the description mentioned in the beginning.
Was it like a moth then into like a butterfly? Does it wrap itself up and just start flinging around, or is there like how many weeks in between the transformation? Because I would get like the Ghostbusters or some sort of exterminating team to take them out while they're in the transformation stage, because that thing is hideous.
Its hunting style changes and becomes much more complicated. It now stalks and feeds only on humans. It will locate human-populated area and begin its search for an easy target. To blend in, it may use objects to conceal itself. These include clothing, mannequins, and furniture.
Huh?
Once a target has been found, the mimic will observe its prey and learn its routine and when it is most vulnerable.
Okay,
This
that's
is typically
huge.
when the human is asleep at night. Once the prey is within position, the mimic will advance silently until it is close enough. The mimic will then execute and immediately begin consumption. Once the mimic has had its fill, it will leave the scene, a fair distance away from the human population, and begin to
really?
digest its meal.
Oh, what's it pretending to cosplay as a tree? What is it doing? Oh. So watch out for grannies, drunk people, and stuff like that. Surely there'd be little tells inside of this universe that you'd be able to tell if they were a mimic or something like that. Are they able to speak the certain language that they're going into the town? There's a lot of different stuff that you could try to evaluate, but maybe not.
Although, in the case that a human is awake, a mimic will use a variety of sounds to either lure or startle prey into corn.
That just fucking... Thank God, that just startled me. What, is there a mimic outside my door? Okay, that was good. That was good. Oh, that was good. That was real. Oh, that was realistic.
Cornering themselves. Once a human is in place, it will swiftly attack and kill the helpless target.
Oh. What, we getting a reconstruction of it, or was this actually video footage? No, sorry. No, I don't need my room cleaning today. No. There's bound to be a game made for this at some point. Go away! I don't have any snacks in the cupboard for you. Is there not a handle or something you can hold on to? Don't shine the light through there. He's gonna see it. What's he doing? Fumbling around on the floor? Hey, I'll put that laminate flooring down, but it's just last night. So stop. Where is it? Just stay still. Just. Oh, that's so creepy. Oh, that's actually giving me the chills. That is actually giving me the chills. Oh, look at that.
The next stage of the mimic's life cycle has two
The
potential
next
morphs
stage?
it may develop into. If a mimic has a consistent supply of food, it will develop more human-like features.
Oh,
It will
no.
grow skin, hair, and by the end will look nearly identical to a human being.
Then you've got no hope. That's it. You might as well just leave town. Just go. There's no point.
It now can blend entirely into civilization and lure other humans more effectively. The second type of morph happens when a mimic receives an overabundance of food.
Oh,
it will
no.
grow into a larger, more evolved hunter. Its proportions will increase in length, and its humanoid features will fade away. It grows a thick, dark coating of a flexible skin, which is highly durable, and increases in strength the more the elder mimic consumes.
Oh, nice.
This excludes the face, which is now coated in a pale pink skin. The mimic's teeth have also moved deeper into the mimic's throat, leaving its mouth a toothless grin.
So if this one developed human-like features and then smiled at you, you'd think it's just some old granny or something with like the gumless teeth. Oh, but the fact that its teeth are at the back of its throat is kind of nasty.
It uses the dark hue of its skin to hide seamlessly within a dark environment. Its
Okay.
skills have also been heightened. This makes an elder mimic one of the most efficient predators on the planet.
Oh, let me guess, the
Because of
humans
the
are going to be
obvious
using
threat
it.
this poses on humanity, nations around the world have released instructions on how to be able to fend for yourself in a mimic encounter.
Ooh, okay,
Here are
how
the
do we do that?
instructions.
1. Avoid going out alone if your location is known to have mimics, or there have been mimic sightings. 2.
Okay.
If you encounter a stationary mimic, seemingly unfazed by your presence, quietly leave the location and alert your local authorities.
What's that gonna do? It's just gonna follow me home next time I'm having a cup of tea. It's gonna be behind me. Oh, okay, these don't seem very good.
3. If pursued by a mimic, get yourself into a position where you are able to flee. Mimics will rarely attack if a person has a clear escape route. 4.
How does it know that?
In the event that you have been cornered by a mimic, roll into the fetal position, protecting your neck, face, and vital organs from attack. Make as much noise as you can to alert any other people. 5. If you have a weapon, do not use it. A mimic is fairly resilient, and any strikes or shots on a mimic is not effective enough to bring it down in time. Instead, use it as a barrier between you and the mimic to block any attacks.
What about a sleep dart? Could I fire one of them off at it? Surely that'd help it. This is nuts. Like, what am I gonna scream? Daddy on the floor for it to go away?
6. In a situation where a mimic is hunting in the immediate area and is not aware of your position, hide somewhere low, like under a bed or behind other furniture.
But they can disguise themselves as furniture.
Search for prey and will move on.
Be safe, and avoid any encounters with a mimic at all costs.
That was just useless, honestly.
Next up, the Harvester.
The what?
The Harvester. The
I
Harvester
don't like...
is a large, bulbous mass, with a large amount of tendrils spreading from the base.
Looks like a flumbus.
The bulb measures around 3 meters in height and 2 meters in diameter.
Wow.
The tendrils, on the other hand, can extend up to 150 meters in diameter horizontally. The Harvester is a specialized form of crawl that grows in a unique and deadly way. A harvester is created when a node, that will grow into a harvester, instead of separating, continues to grow. Eventually, it will grow tendrils of its own. It uses the energy provided by its mother branch and expands its reach further. Its tendrils, hidden just below the surface of the ground.
So they gotta be nearby the crawl then, yes?
Specialized tendrils. The first type is bulky and flat. They lie the closest to the surface. These branches are lined on each length of the tendril with spines, extending in the shape of a bear trap. On each side of the branch, those particular spines have a vein that feed into them. That pump
so that's like the Venus flytraps that the plants have?
The spines can inject a neurotoxin, which will attack the nervous system of whomever it is injected
into.
Oh,
lovely. Oh, just what
paralysis. You need. The other side can inject an anticoagulant, which when injected, prevents blood cells from clotting. Whenever a large animal moves across the area armed with these tendrils, the branches will clamp onto the animal and thrash violently. Once the prey has been injected with both venoms, the tendrils will rest and the prey will immediately collapse.
So you're screwed then. If one of these things are in a field that you stumble across, that's it. You might as well... Hello, yes, this is my final hour. There's nothing you can do.
The animal will be unable to move due to the paralysis, and the wounds caused by the thrashing spines will not stop bleeding. All the prey can do is lie patiently, until succumbing to blood loss. Once the prey has bled out, the second type of tendrils come in. They lie below the spine equipped once. These branches are thick, but very sturdy. They share similar anatomy to the small branches of the crawl, equipped with organelle that absorbs nutrients.
Ah, okay, so they're gonna use that to absorb it.
These tendrils sense the blood, and move their way to the surface and begin to absorb the vital fluid. Once the blood has been consumed, the tendrils will wrap around the body and begin to shuffle downwards. This movement loosens the soil and slowly pull the body underground. Once secure, the tendrils will continue to feed until there is nothing but scraps. The nourishment absorbed by the tendrils will be sucked back into the main bulb of the harvester.
Oh, yeah, I think the harvester's the worst one here.
The organs and the venom glands that pump into the spines. The nutrients are then converted into usable energy. The remains underground decompose, providing a rich soil, causing very prominent plant growth, which then attracts more animals.
And then the circle of life and keeps going.
The strange behavior the harvester displays is its choice of diet. The spines will only activate on larger animals, allowing smaller ones to pass by unaffected. The spines will also not activate on some species of bird. There are a couple theories as to why this happens.
Interesting.
One, it could be that attacking smaller animals would cost too much energy for what they get in return, making it not worth the time.
So in order to try and eliminate one of these, if you're a human and something like that, you would have to send in... this probably sounds bad, but... send in the children to try and to eliminate it or something, or give them some sort of explosive to throw over there. Because of the size, they won't be attacked, they'll be safe. Unlike if you send an adult in there, they might get attacked. I know that sounds bad, but have you got any other ideas? What you gonna send in? R2-D2? Let me know what you would try and do to take this out.
Another could be that smaller animals may attract larger animals or predators, allowing a safe place where prey may thrive and lure more predators. It truly is astonishing. Although it is a spectacular creature, it is also very dangerous. The harvester is decently rare, only populating sparse areas in the northern hemisphere and woodland forests.
Not in the UK!
If you are stung by a harvester, there will be no way of helping you, being that there is no cure, and fatality is 100% positive.
Well, lovely. Thanks.
The best
Appreciate
thing
it.
you can do is avoid encountering a harvester in the first place. If you are hiking, take note of any warnings or signs saying that there are harvesters
they've got
around.
signs up.
If you also notice an abundance of lush, ground-dwelling plants in a forested area, and there are no signs of wildlife, this is suspicious and you should leave the area.
So just don't go outside, okay? If you're a gamer like myself, just don't go outside. It's just better. If you go into the city, you're screwed. You get killed by the other one. You get killed by the mimic. You go into a forest, you get killed by the harvester. There's no way out. There's
Stay close to the base of large trees or rocks. If you find yourself in the middle of a harvester ground, do not panic. Sudden movements may activate the tendrils and will inject you. Although a harvester is rather forgiving, do not risk any skittish movements. Remain calm. If you have any objects with considerable heft, like coats, backpacks, or full water bottles, gently take that object and lightly toss it towards the bulb, and away from your escape route. This will activate the spines on where the object lands, distracting the bulb for a moment. You will then slowly begin to do wide shuffles away from the bulb. If possible, throw another object.
So you gotta do, what are we in Call of Duty? We gotta do these? Is this how I'm getting away from it? Nah, that's very sus.
When you are certain you are a fair enough distance away, just to be safe. Continue until you are completely sure you are out of harm's way. You may come out unscathed, but don't be too obnoxious, or you will be a harvester's next meal.
Yep, Count your lucky stars that you got out of there.
The host. The host of influence. The host of influence, more commonly referred to as the host, has its name derived from a host who invites guests to an event. Not to be confused with a host, a harborer of parasites or disease. The host is a semi-humanoid looking organism. It has the structure of a head, torso, and arms.
So this is like the horror equivalent of The Great Gatsby. He invites a bunch of people to his mansion because he's lonely, but in this instance, it's the host wanting to eat everyone.
Other than this, it shares no other characteristics. The lower half of the host is comprised of a mass of fibrous tissue and tendrils that burrow into the ground to hold the host in place. Instead of skin, the host is covered in muscular tissue fibers, tendons, and veins. In some parts of the body are covered in a meaty plate, used to cover any large exposed areas, but allowing movement.
Okay.
The host's head has a smooth surface where the face should be, attached to a crooked neck, which houses a slit in the front used for feeding. On the host's back is a mound of pores. Protruding from these pores are hollow, hair-like structures, extending outwards. These hairs are barrels that release spores produced within host's body by being fired into the air.
And that's how they're going to be able to consume the people that they invite over.
Keep clear of them at all costs.
Okay.
Luckily, the host is rare, only found in North America.
Yes!
Obtaining info about the host is a very risky and daunting task. This is because of their rarity and of how dangerous it is to be up close to one.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
The spores released by a host is very dangerous when inhaled. A host will release a cloud of spores into the air, which will be picked up by wind and carried great distances. If an organism inhales the spores, The particles will find their way into the organism's brain and infect them.
Surely that would spread around the world, even though they're in only North America. Surely, if it's airborne, then it would just carry around and infect the world, maybe? Or after a certain amount of miles traveled or something like that, its effect and the spores kind of just disintegrate. I don't know how spores work. I don't know.
An infected organism will show no symptoms of infection right away, but a couple hours after infection, the infected organism's behavior and thought process will change.
Ooh.
The first symptoms that appear are restlessness, sluggish movement, numbness of joints, and lack of coordination. Then more serious symptoms appear over time. These include dizziness, migraines, impaired speech, and trembles. If you, or someone you know, show these symptoms, contact poison control or emergency services.
What are they gonna do,
After a total of 6 to 7 hours after infection, the organism will cease all activities they were previously doing and begin to walk. The direction the infected will walk is towards the host whose spores have been inhaled by the infected individual. If the infected makes their way to the host, they will kneel down in front of it, expose their vital organs, and the host will promptly gut and remove those organs.
Okay.
The host
So
will
some sort of
consume
weird
them and
cult?
discard the leftover scraps.
So there's going to be a lot of disappearances and stuff like that, and the way that they can research them is if they follow someone that's going towards one.
However, if an infected organism doesn't reach the host within a 36-hour span or is treated for their infection, the effects will wear off and return back to normal.
Oh, really? Okay.
If a host is unable to find prey or doesn't like its current location, it will unroot itself and move to a new location. Their scarce numbers and the hazard of being around one makes getting info about the host very daunting. All you need to currently know is that the host is extremely dangerous and should be avoided at all costs.
Don't you worry, I'll be avoiding that.
Next, the monoliths.
The monoliths?
The monoliths. The monolith is a very new creature, only showing up in June of 1972 in the area. There are only 7 monoliths, all of them located in a circular position, 1.5 kilometers in diameter.
So surely the monoliths are going to be the key in order to get the Vita Carnis off the planet Earth. Surely you take out 7 of these and it kind of destroys the life around,
this
maybe?
ring of monoliths surround...
Yep, thank you.
The monolith is a Titanic-sized being, measuring roughly 120 meters in height.
Oh, that's cool.
Each monolith has 2 trunk legs that are firmly embedded underground. The legs connect to a torso.
Oh, that's so cool.
The creature itself is made of hundreds of thousands of meaty strands, tightly woven together to form the structure.
So it's like a
These
siren
strands
head,
end
but
at the
better,
neck,
I'd say.
fusing into a solid mass of hardened flesh in the shape of an upside-down triangle, with a hole in its center. On each side of the monolith where arms would be, there are dozens of long, rope-like appendages. These reach just barely to the ground. At the creature's feet, the strands go deep into the earth and extend horizontally a decent distance away.
Oh, that's so cool.
What the monoliths do is simply stand and do nothing. The only activity documented that the monoliths have done was in...
Ooh,
During this period,
classified
they were
information.
extremely aggressive. When the group of were making their way to the city, the monolith that they had passes roared a deep bellow and swung its appendages at the team, completely wiping them out. When military vehicles were dispatched, once they got close enough to top the monolith, it roared another call, this time releasing an EMP blast.
What? That's very smart. So they... Oh! So surely them having an EMP blast, they've been on planet Earth for a very, very, very long time. Surely.
Completely knocking the vehicles out in the vicinity. Finally, long-distance rockets were fired and struck the creature.
Did it take it out or no? Whoa, 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 whoa. Look at that thing! 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 Look at Oh, that's so cool, but so...
Although damaged, it regenerated at great speed and resumed its stance unscathed.
What?
Eventually, the area has been fenced off and is now restricted to all.
And that's what Area 51 is, ladies and gentlemen. Why do you think they won't let us go in there? Even though it's 120 feet. They got like the Men in Black kind of thing. They put like one of them domes around it so you guys can't actually see. It's all part of an illusion, alright?
Ever since, the
Conspiracy
monoliths
theories.
stand silently, now only a grand spectacle of awe and mystery, only adding more questions to these meat beings.
They're definitely researching them.
And finally, the last creature on this list is...
What are they?
Singularity is an orb comprised of a dark-colored mineral with hints of luminous colors. The singularity is estimated to be 1 meter in diameter.
Okay.
The orb has several unique qualities that are not well understood. The singularity typically can be found suspended in air by an unseen force. There are also
So a UFO?
of reading that have been documented coming from the orb itself. Various things like magnetic fields, energy signatures, and
Normal.
other pattern-like signals released by the singularity. The population of these creatures is unknown. Almost all info about the singularity is hidden or confiscated by officials.
Of course it is. Of course it is. This is... Oh, it makes me so intrigued.
We're only able to receive one classified document about the singularity being held by...
Whoa. There's definitely a corporation involved. That's looking after and
majestic world that exists today.
using these
It's
entities.
extraordinary to have such strange and mysterious beings appear all around us. Thank you
Oh,
for joining us
wow.
on this journey of exploration
Man,
and
what
discovery of
a
the lives of
video.
these living meat creatures.
That was intriguing, suspenseful, horror, everything that you want in an analog horror. Wow! Oh, I really do hope that Darian expands upon this world. Hopefully releases a game if they're able to, or even some more footage. I do believe there is a lot more on the channel, so if you do want me to react to a little bit more of this, then please do let me know in the comments. But thank you so much as always for joining me on this video. Boom, 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 boom. So guys, thanks all round, and I will see you in the next video.
2,
Bye, bye,
3,
bye, 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 bye,
and
bye.
4. Count what you have now, don't count what you don't have.